All right, so it's been a while since I did an update. Let me just make sure it's recording. All right, cool. So it's been a minute. So got a lead from the website. I think that was probably like Tuesday or Wednesday. Just some company needed some help with server, and they're also redoing their office. So went in and met with them on Friday, and it was an admin, and I kind of knew going into it because a lot of sales, material, marketing material. For example, Sandler sales system says don't go in and pitch, don't go in and just do anything unless you're in front of a decision maker, and that's exactly what happened. So this was just basically an information gathering exercise for the admin there. And it was, I've been in these situations a million times where people will call and they'll just they're pressing me for information. And basically what they're going to do is they're going to take the information I tell them and then just do it themselves. So if I say, okay, we use XYZ antivirus, I can hear them typing it or writing it down because they're just going to turn around and just go get it themselves because they think that they can just go do that and that it's going to be the same level. Well, probably it is, whatever, but I don't make any money that way. So my whole thing these days is to not tell people shit. So basically when I come in, all I'm there to do is get information. I'm not there to give information. So in Sandler, it's just you're trying to find out what do they need, what's their pain. The problem is I was having trouble getting the pain out of her because she's not a decision maker. So she's telling me all these things that need to be completed, but yet she doesn't really know pretty much anything about anything. They're using used computers and hand-me-downs and all that, and it sounds like they just haven't invested any money into the business in order to, on the computers anyway. They don't even have antivirus on their computers. So I sent over kind of a sales pitch just for her information, just basically saying that the first email was, I can definitely help you out with all this stuff. And then the second email was, here's the price. And not only here's the price, but here's the price for managed IT service, in the sense they already said they don't want managed IT service, the monthly, month to month. What they wanted was just pay as you go. And I hate that shit. But I'm kind of in a position where what I'm trying to do is even though people tell me that stuff, like, oh, we don't want to pay the monthly fee. Okay, that's fine. Who cares? I'm going to come in and make my pitch. And that is find out what they're in need of, and then at some point pitch the antivirus and the remote monitoring, the monthly fee, because they had 20 computers. So if I can get $10 a month, even $5 a month out of them for the rest of their life, I mean, it's like $100, dude. Money coming in. Because just last month I signed up 2 new clients, and I think that'll probably be about $250 a month just coming in, and that's basically just kind of on autopilot. It just, as soon as I send out the invoice on the first, most companies have it set up so that it just automatically pays. So every first of the month, I send the bill out for antivirus for all my clients and just get paid immediately in most cases. So even with these companies where I know that, they're not going to want, the $100 a month per computer, full on managed IT services, I'm still going out there to pitch just to see what's up. Because the thing is that I already know I'm going to get a bunch of no's. I already know that. So whatever, who cares? The thing is that I saw this thing on Instagram, this reel, and it was like, I don't know the exact thing, but he was like, what if you were 15 no's away from the opportunity of your lifetime? How fast would you want to get to that first no, and that second no, and that third no? I don't care. I'm just out there to give them a pitch. The thing is that they need IT assistance regardless of who they go with. So it's just a matter of me getting out there and pitching more and more just to get the skill down a little bit further. So in the sense of the more sales calls I can run, the more I'm going to land. And I got to get out of this mindset that that it's just me, and that I don't want to pick up new clients because I don't want to be busy out the ass. Because last week I got my ass kicked. I was slammed every single day, slammed. So I can't wait to get somebody in here to help out. I can't wait. So I looked into workman's comp insurance. I thought it was going to be some crazy amount of money. It looks like it's not going to be that much. Hopefully, I don't know, but it's going to be a single employee. So hopefully I can get it for about $50, $60, $70 a month. I would do that if I could find an insurance company that would do that for me. And then there's a website, I don't know what it's called, but basically I just pay the website, and then it's like a service, not a website. It's just a service. I forgot the name of it, but then they're the ones that pay the employee. They take out all the taxes on behalf of the employee. They do all that stuff for the employee. It's basically like they're doing the payroll. And I think it's like $30 a month or $40 a month per employee. So, because what I was thinking about doing is doing like a W-9 on somebody, and just basically saying, hey, look, here's the deal. You get this amount of money per week or month or whatever it is. You have to take care of your own taxes. I'm still okay with doing that, but I just think it's kind of a shitty way to do an employee, especially like an employee that's not really versed with accounting and doing their own taxes and kind of what that all looks like. It's some positives for them because they can write off their gas, they can write off all kinds of expenses. I mean, it'd be really good for them if they understood it. But I'm gonna keep looking into that to see if I can get some workman's comp insurance for the person I'm gonna bring in. I've got the money in the bank. It's just a matter of just putting that job out there. And I already know I get 1,000, easily get 1,000 people trying to apply for the job, because it's going to be a real cush job. It's going to be sitting back there doing help desk from 8 a.m. until noon, Monday through Friday. I mean, it's going to be super easy. So still at it, still hustling, still grinding, still doing the thing. So I don't know, still having limiting beliefs, but just pushing through that shit. Keeping it going, keeping it moving, and trying to get maybe this client that I'm gonna reach out to them on Monday to see if we can get in front of the owner, get in front of a decision maker, just to see if I can do this, because I already know I'm gonna have to do all the same pitch all over again, listen to this shit all over again from the decision maker. So it's actually kind of a learning thing for me as well, where I need to get into this habit of anytime that an admin calls, I need to have them get a decision maker with them at the time when we meet, so that we're not having to do this 2-3 times of me spinning my wheels and wasting weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks talking to a bunch of different people just to get a yes. Because I think I've said in previous videos, one thing that I learned a long time ago is, at a business, there are millions of people that can tell you no, but there's only 1 or 2 that can say yes to spending money. So this person is going to pass all the information on and all that, but again, that's not what I really want, because you can't take technical information and then pass it on third hand to somebody and expect the same type of results as if you heard it firsthand. So that's all I got for today. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.